Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Wuthering Waves video. Now, in today's video, I want to talk about the potential that this game has and why I feel like Wuthering Waves will indeed be a successful gacha game. But before I get started on the video, make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't. I really appreciate it. If you guys are new here on the channel, I have a Discord server. So if you guys are interested in joining, I'll post a server link in the comment section up below that you guys can join up. But anyways, let's not waste any time. Let's go ahead, hop right into the video. Now, first things first, I want to talk about how many people pre-registered for Wuthering Waves, Honkai Star Rail, and Genshin Impact. So I will be doing a comparison here. So if you guys don't like that, I'm sorry, but it just is what it is. Comparisons have to be made in order for you to actually understand if a game is going to be successful. So as you guys can see, Wuthering Waves, over 22 million people have pre-registered for the game. Now, when we take a look at Genshin and Honkai Star Rail, so when people pre-registered for Genshin, it was over 10 million players who pre-registered for the game, which is actually pretty good. Now, when we look at Honkai Star Rail, it's also over 10 million people. So the fact that Wuthering Waves has over 20 million pre-registrations is actually insane. So the fact that so many people are pre-registering for the game, that just proves that everyone is hoping that this game is going to be good, and there is a lot of everyone is hoping that this game can live up to its expectations. Because to be honest, the things that people wanted in Genshin, for example, in-game content, new game modes to pretty much test your character to see how strong they are, it just wasn't in the game. And I feel like for Wuthering Waves, a lot of people are expecting for a lot of people are expecting for this game to have a lot of in-game content where you can actually use your characters to test to see how strong your account is, and build your characters with the right equipment and make the game challenging. That's all people wanted in Genshin. We just wanted a challenge. So if Wuthering Waves is able to implement some sort of system where we can actually feel challenged and we can test our characters and actually compete with different players, then this game will live up to its expectation. And that's like the number one thing most people are looking forward to when it comes to Wuthering Waves. It's the in-game content. Because honestly, if the game is really similar to Genshin, honestly, I would not even touch the game. Because why would I play another game that's literally the same exact thing as Genshin when I can just go play Genshin? See what I'm saying? So if this game is able to offer something that Genshin can't offer, then that is going to be a huge game changer. Now, when we take a look at the gacha system, so let's go and check this out. So basically, for a single summon, you need 160 astrites, similar to using 160 primo gems for a single summon. Now, what is the pity? So when we look at the max pity and Wuthering Waves, the max pity is 80. Now in Genshin, it was actually 90 pity. So I do feel like the max pity is a lot better in this game because it's just 80 pity. And maybe hard pity starts around like 70 summons. Once you enter 70 pity, that's when you reach hard pity, and the chances of you getting the 5-star character that you want increases. Or soft pity starts at 70, who knows. But the fact that max pity is 80, that's indeed good. Now when we look at the Afterglow Coral, now the Afterglow Coral is kind of similar to Genshin, where you're basically using resources to get more summons. So right off the bat, the gacha system is really similar to Genshin's gacha system, where you can literally exchange materials to get more summons, and you can also get copies of other 5-star characters. And you guys can see that there is a time limit to getting standard 5-star characters. So there is going to be a standard banner. So if I scroll down over here, there is going to be a standard banner, and I'm pretty sure when the game releases, we're also going to have the Utterance of Marvel's banner, where they're basically going to give you a 5-star character in the first 50 summons. So you can basically get a free 5-star character without spending a lot of summons. Now, is this banner going to be good? Who knows? But when we compare it to Genshin, like I said, guys, I'm going to do a lot of comparisons here. But when we compare it to Genshin, when Genshin first got released, they didn't have a banner where you can get a guaranteed 5-star character. You can basically just get a guaranteed Noel. So right off the bat, this is actually pretty nice, considering how as soon as the game releases, they're going to give us a free 5-star character, and on top of that, you can also get some 4-star characters as well. So the gacha system is already looking pretty nice. Now when it comes to the rates, 0.8% chance of you getting a 5-star character that you want, and 6% chance you getting the 4-star character that you want. I'm not gonna lie, the 5-star rate where it's 0.8%. It's not that good. I'm not gonna lie. That is that's really small. That's a really small chance for you to get the 5-star resonator that you want. But I will say when it comes to the max pity, it is a lot better. And the fact that you're able to get, free 5-star character in the banner, and on top of that, it's like a 20% discount where you can just use 8 covens, which is really dope. So right off the bat, the gacha system is looking pretty decent, but when it comes to the rates, I'm not gonna lie, the rates are kind of small. Now, another interesting system that will be implemented into the game is the echo system. Now, this system right here, I'm not gonna lie, this is a pretty nice system because this system basically incentivizes you to capture monsters and fight them, because you guys already know when it comes to open world games, it kind of gets boring because once you complete the story, you complete certain quests, you find chests and etc. You literally have nothing else to do. You're just walking around doing daily missions, daily quests, and that is literally it. Everything else has been completed. So this ecosystem basically just adds a brand new sort of mechanic into the game where you are incentivized to fight enemies because you want to capture them and you want to make them stronger, and that's just really fun overall. So this ecosystem, I feel like this ecosystem is definitely going to make the game a lot more interesting, and it's definitely going to add some sort of longevity into the game, because I say this all the time, in open world games, I do feel like when it comes to open world games, it tends to die out way more faster, way more quicker than games like Punishing Gray Raven, where all you're doing is you're entering a battle and you're fighting someone. Because in those type of games, all you're doing is you're fighting the opponent and that is it. There's no open world, there's nothing. You just get straight to the point and you just fight the enemy and you fight the boss, you get your rewards and you leave. But in open world games, it's like you have to teleport, you have to travel long distance. It's like so many things are happening in an open world, and things will just tend to die out a lot more faster when it comes to open world games and when there's not a lot of things to do. Because if the only thing you're doing is completing daily missions, daily quests, it's just gonna get boring. So this ecosystem definitely has potential, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. Now, when it comes to character design, oh my goodness, this game excels at character design. Character design is like one of the biggest things to me, because seeing typical characters in these gacha open world games starts to get boring. So I really like the variety when it comes to these characters and the way they look. Definitely look unique. So really, this character right here, bruh, she looks fire. So yeah, character design in this game, peak, absolute peak. These characters look good. It might sound like I'm glazing right now, but honestly, the character design in this game is really nice overall. So they did a really great job designing these characters, not making them look so boring, because that's like one of the main things I can't stand about most of these gacha games, is like some of these characters just look straight up boring. Like, they just look boring. And when you look at these character designs and their outfits, it's like their outfit definitely matches with their personality. So they definitely did a great job, character design in this game. Now, another thing that I want to talk about is Zen Zone Zero. So as you guys can see, pre-registration is officially available, and I'm pretty sure on the App Store it is expected to be released on like July 3rd or July 5th, I forgot, but it's expected to be released at the beginning of July. And you guys already know Hoyoverse does this all the time. They did this to, if you guys are not familiar with the game called Higen Naruto, they did this to Higen, where Higen, that game died. The reason why the game died is because they decided to release the game right before Honkai Star was going to get released. That's when they decided to release Higen, and then as soon as Honkai Star released, the game immediately died. So the fact that Wuthering Waves is going to be released before Zen Zone Zero, do I think that a lot of people are going to quit Wuthering Waves to play Zen Zone Zero? No. The reason why I don't think that's going to happen is because Zen Zone Zero and Wuthering Waves are two completely different games. Wuthering Waves is open world. Zen Zone Zero is more of like a fast-paced RPG type game where there is no open world. It's similar to Punishing Gray Raven. So two of those games are completely different. Now, if Zen Zone Zero is like a brand new open world game, and Wuthering Waves as well, like of course Wuthering Waves is open world, then those two games will be competing with each other. So the fact that those two games are completely different, I feel like a lot of people are still going to continue playing Wuthering Waves. It's just that they're going to pretty much test out Zen Zone Zero because it has like a completely different So it's like completely different than Wuthering Waves because those two games are just not the same. But for Higan Naruto and Honkai Star Rail, those games were identical, like turn-based, completely identical games. That's the reason why a lot of people just completely abandoned Higan and just left it, and just that game just turned to dust. Like, is that game does not exist. I'm surprised that that game is still alive, but literally, like in the world chat in Higan Naruto, everybody was just spamming Honkai, Honkai, Honkai. I'm only playing this game because of Honkai, and that is it, which was kind of sad. So that game absolutely died because of Honkai. But when it comes to Zen Zone Zero and Wuthering Waves, I don't think that's gonna happen. And there's like one huge complaint when it comes to Zen Zone Zero, and that is the gameplay. There's like this television system where when you're trying to enter gameplay, you have to move through these TV screens, and I'm not gonna lie, that kind of looks boring. So if they don't fix that, I feel like that's what that TV system is definitely going to drive people insane. So you guys already know Hoyoverse. When it comes to Hoyoverse listening to the community, it fell at that. But we're gonna see what happens here. It's really interesting that Zenless Zone Zero is going to release probably early July or early June, who knows. But they do this all the time. They always release Hoyoverse games right after a huge game just got released, for example Wuthering Waves. So let's just see what happens here. Really interesting. I will check out Zenless Zone Zero, but I don't think that people are going to quit Wuthering Waves just to play this game. I just don't think that's going to happen. All right, so overall, what do I think about this game? Is this game going to have longevity? Is it going to be successful? In my opinion, I never played Wuthering Waves, but judging things that I've seen so far in this game, yes, it definitely has potential. Of course there are going to be problems. No game in the universe is perfect. Games will have issues, but compared to Genshin, I feel like this game is going to have far less problems, and the problems aren't going to be as severe as the problems that Genshin had, for example in-game content. So hopefully this game can actually deliver when it comes to longevity, because longevity is extremely important in gacha games. If a game doesn't have longevity, then the game is dead. So I'm not saying that this game is going to be 100% amazing. There's going to be no issues. There are going to be issues, and maybe this game is going to be trash. Who knows? Maybe it's going to flop. But I'm really hoping that this game is going to be good, because this is like the #1 most hyped open world gacha game, like so far, like as of today. Like this is like the most #1 hyped game that everyone is looking forward to in the gacha community, and I don't blame them. Like this game is really nice and it looks really polished, and hopefully it can deliver, because Genshin, I'm not gonna lie, Genshin started off strong, but it just just like the hype just died down over time. The game is still extremely popular, but when it comes to gameplay and in-game content, Genshin just couldn't deliver at all. But anyways, I'll be ending the video at that. If you guys have any thoughts, any opinions, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that this game is going to be good? Is it going to be trash? Please share your thoughts in the comment section down below. But I'll be posting some more Wuthering Waves content because we are getting closer to release. So make sure that you guys like the video and subscribe if you haven't, so that you guys can actually stay tuned as to when I post the videos. And I'll be catching you guys on the next one.